Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So welcome to another episode in the What I Learned After 100 Hours in PGA Tour 2K25 series. As always, please remember to like and subscribe, but I'm going to delve into, in this short video, what my overall 99 player here, how I've distributed attribute points and why, based on what I've learned as I've just continued to play through here and gotten used to how the game functions. Now, I will preface this to say I might have made some different decisions, specifically about correction. Correction really isn't that key, because what that does is it decreases the bias severity, which basically means it straightens out the swing meter. It never really gets fully straight, and to me, like, I was able to learn it. Some of it may have been that, I learned it over time, and as I adjusted it, I went through there. But, I went through the process of adjusting as I went along, and again, it really only deals with it as it says on Pro Difficulty and higher, so if you're just a casual player, and you're never really getting up to that difficulty, correction matters even less. Like, don't apply any correction points at all, because if you're playing at amateur or pro-am just to enjoy the game and enjoy the scenery and the golf courses, and you're not really getting up to those higher levels, this isn't even going to do anything for you, so you'd literally be throwing points away. On the Technician, this attribute class, and if you haven't watched my other videos, what I refer to as attribute class is the horizontal lines. So swing path correction is an attribute class. As I applied 1 point to one side, it decreased my ability to apply a point on the other side. So if I added a correction point, it lowered my ability to improve my swing path. So what I could have done, and basically in this case, if I didn't apply as many things to correction, I would have had the ability to improve my swing path even more. And the swing path deals with the forgiveness at the bottom of the swing meter, which deals with push and pull. So it would have improved my ability to hit a straighter shot, and I think it does that far, far more than correction does. That's my input after spending 100 hours in here. That's probably the biggest takeaway you're going to get from my player build here. Now, you will notice my power is 67. I maxed out my power and basically left my contact alone, because the power for a technician starts at, I think this is the lowest point. It starts at 42. And so you're able to apply 25 points. And so the contact in the 70s, basically that was my threshold. I took that from what I understood in 2K23, and I do think it translates quite well here in 2K25, is that if you can get stuff into the 70s, whether it's through your basic player attributes or ultimately with fittings, that's usually good enough that you can play decently. The other thing that I really ignored was shaping, because I don't do a whole lot of that. It's used very rarely. Therefore, I may think I did improve it a bit. I put a lot of things or emphasized recovery here. Similarly, you can see rhythm over transition, swing path correction, again, pretty equal, but I probably would have changed that and maybe gone 5 points more to swing path and 5 less to correction. I don't know. But then you can see on putting, I tried to kind of level that out a little bit as much as I could. Putt weight is the power, where contact, yes, it does change the swing face a little bit. It can be compensated for by just learning to swing straighter, where putt weight to me was more important for the feel. Similarly, putt path, because of the forgiveness on the directionality versus rhythm, which adjusted the putt weight a little bit, but the fact that I put more points in putt weight, I said, you know what, I'm gonna favor putt path in this attribute class and go from there. So the other key point, if you watched my archetype and really probably more the attribute episode here, when we maxed out the power on, I think, the powerhouse that we were looking at, or just maxed it out anywhere, it basically is adding 14 yards to the driver. So that is where I was at, but because my base is lower, you know, that meant I couldn't get to the 294 that you could, for example, with a magician, but that's only 6 yards difference. So that's where you start making those determinations of, well, is that more important? And to me, these two attribute classes were the big ones. I wanted to improve my distance out of bad lies because I end up in more bad lies than I would like, and I wanted accuracy to be my number one driver, which is swing path. Contact also is important. That determines hook slice. That's on the top portion. This is the bottom portion, so swing path and contact offset each other on the swing meter, but having both of those relatively high has been quite helpful. So finishing up what the impact to the builds are, I'm still working on things in my golf bag. So one of the things we learned in Season 1 is the highest we're able to go is Sapphire. I can't use an Evo tool to unlock that last piece. If you go in and try to do that, it just tells you Season 2, and it doesn't get you anywhere. I actually used a level up token to unlock the Evo on my driver, and then suddenly realized I couldn't do anything with it anyway. So I wasted a level up token for that. But you can see the fittings I have applied. I've added 12, so I've added 3 fittings to power. Each of the slots at Sapphire level is +4. They did make a change from the early access, where initially it was +6, because they basically went +2, +4, +6, but then I guess they decided that was too much progression, and so they lowered it to +2, +3. So 3 fittings to power, 1 to improve contact a little bit more, and 1 to improve swing path. So you can tell what I feel, at least for the driver, are my most important attributes. Woods, I just unlocked these in the Clubhouse Pass, so I'm just in the process of getting these up. I'll talk about applying fittings and what I've learned over the 100 hours in a different video. I don't want to go off topic too much. And then here on my irons, contact and transition was where I applied everything. So I felt I was, accurate enough. My swing path was fine. I wasn't really worried about getting a little bit more distance. You're always talking probably about 10 yards between clubs for each of them anyway, so there was enough adjustment I could make that once I was within iron range, I felt, I want to improve my accuracy, so I applied it to contact, and the transition then helps with a little bit of the power on the back end, because a clearer transition then gives me more forgiveness to not lose power on my irons, and my irons are the ones I will do partial swings with more often than I would with, say, a driver or a wood. The transition is important for irons, but it's not important for the other clubs. Wedges, I'm still working on getting these up. I actually just realized I can do that, so I can take them to Sapphire, so that would actually help. So I've gone ahead and taken those to Sapphire, because now I can start unlocking the fittings for wedges, and then I can apply some of my fittings to that. A little bit of bonus in the video. And then here on my putter, you only get 4 fittings, but contact to keep the head straight, so that was one of my weaker things, so that added 12, and then I did put 1 fitting on putt path. I was going back and forth if I wanted to do that or wanted to just add more to contact, but decided to throw it into putt path. And then I don't do anything with balls, partially because I'm still hoping we get a colored ball. I really liked my yellow ball in 2K23 because it's just easier to see. So I could see it rolling on the green. Like, I can't see the white ball until it's like stopped, and then it tells me where it is. It's really hard for me to follow it. So I really would love a bright something ball. It doesn't have to be yellow, but the yellow is what I use. But if it's pink or something kind of neon or fluorescent, that would be awesome. But that walks you through what I set up on my player and why, and the decisions I made after spending 100 hours in here and learning as I went. But those are hopefully things that'll help you out, and I will see you next time.